appears to be a post-mortem injury to the arm. It looks like it was trapped in a car door. Preliminary toxicology results shows no signs of inebriation. However, a high amount of cortisol.
What have you found, Forrest?
Found another tape. It talks more. Sprinting through trees and bushes. I'm not sure yet. There's also a tape about a toxicology report. There were no signs of drinking or that he was on anything.
What? But everyone said he went swimming drunk and drowned. It was in the newspaper and everything.
I found a tape that introduces a new detail to the story. Post-mortem injury. Apparently, his arm got caught in a car door.
A car door?
Yeah, after he died. How do you suppose they can tell?
How can they tell? I'm a radio producer, not a coroner.
The written report I found doesn't mention it at all.
How did his arm get after he died?
Unless he got it with...
But the report, what is going on here?
I found a police report. Mentions a friend from earlier. Sandra Sharp.
Sandra? The jazz runner?
That's right. She found George's body washed up at the reservoir.
The reservoir?
Yeah? What's strange about that?
George got cuts from running through foliage, right? But there's no forest around there. Also, how did it wash up at the reservoir?
What do you mean?
Reservoirs don't have tides.
But that's what the police report said.
It's not possible, though. I did a school project on reservoirs and got an A. But, yeah, not important right now. The important thing is that it doesn't make sense.
What are you suggesting, then? That the body was originally found somewhere other than what the report suggests? That the sheriff tried to cover it up, but accidentally let something slip?
Something like that. I think.
Well, Sheriff Matthews wrote the report. If he hadn't been eviscerated, we could have asked him.
True. But Sandra is still alive. Once we're done down here, we should give her a call.
I think I found Clive's last recording. I think Clive might be gone.
Gone?
I found a confession. Not for any killings, but for playing a part in covering up George's death. He left this behind in case he died. He hoped someone would find it.
Do you think the Whistling Man already got him?
Possibly. We've had a lot of callers tonight, but maybe not every victim made it to the phone, you know? We don't know how many there really are.
Christ, Forrest, that's dark.
I know, but Clive said he had read about other murders in other towns, and that the murders were all folks who knew about the incident. And the killings were getting closer to Gallows Creek. He said he wanted to do something good for once.
The board in his office. He wasn't tracking people down to kill them. He was tracking them down to save them. Ugh, why didn't he just come out with all of this?
He said his employer threatened his family if he spoke out about any of it.
His employer? The one who orchestrated the cover-up? Oh, Clive. I'm sorry for thinking you killed all those people. Do you think you found everything, Forrest?
I think there's got to be more down here. I need to find all the tapes.
You think so? How much did Clive hide down there? Well, if there are more tapes, then there must be more maps to follow, right?
That seems to be the case.
All right, then. intercom when you find something and want to discuss it. Do you think you found everything, Forrest?
I think there's got to be more down here. I need to find all the tapes.
You think so? How much did Clive hide down there? Well, if there are more tapes, then there must be more maps to follow, right?
That seems to be the case.
All right, then. Buzz the intercom when you find something and want to discuss it.
Time of autopsy, 7 a.m. Cause of death is asphyxiation from drowning. The degree of liquor indicates that the subject has been deceased for 5 hours. That puts the time of death. Small lacerations to arms, legs, and face. Severe blistering. Preliminary toxicology results shows no signs of inebriation. However, a high amount of cortisol was found, indicating elevated levels before death. Additionally, there appears to be a post-mortem injury to the arm. It looks like it was trapped in a car door. It is the coroner's opinion that the subject
This has to be
likely feared
important.
for his life and was chased, resulting in a fall from a height into a body of water, where he hit his head, was knocked out, and drowned. Following that, he was moved.
Dr. Sullivan, we need to have a talk. Is that recording? Shut it off.
What have you found, Forrest?
It's an autopsy tape. Doesn't say for who, but I think it must be for George.
Poor George. He was so young.
Something's bugging me, Peggy.
What do you mean?
I swear I recognize the voice of the woman talking on the tape. I just can't place it.
Seriously? Do you think you've met her before?
I don't know. I mean, I just got here recently. I don't know. In another tape, the coroner comes to the same conclusion as I did. George was running from something.
Maybe an animal?
Maybe, but then there's this next bit, where the coroner thinks he was moved post-death.
So she agrees with us.
At the end of the tape, someone burst in and demanded the doctor, Dr. Sullivan, to stop recording.
Dr. Sullivan? Wait, Virginia Sullivan? She was her caller from earlier.
Well, then our caller was involved in a conspiracy around this boy's death. We need to call her back once we finish down here. It looks like she might know something about what's going on. I found a written autopsy report.
What does it say?
According to that, it's just like you said at the start. George drowned after getting drunk. Said he liked to fight, too.
But that contradicts the tape.
I know.
Autopsy report. Then Virginia must be our coroner. Wait, the caller from earlier. When we had to call the takeout restaurants. Wasn't her name Virginia? Do you think you found everything?
I think so.
Forrest, what's going on here?
Someone wanted that boy's death to seem like an accident. And they hired Clive to make it look that way.
Come back upstairs when you're ready. We need to figure out our next step.
Glad you're back, Forrest. I've been running out of stuff to pad our airtime with.
Peggy, you work in radio.
Forrest, I'm stressed. I mean, really. How are we supposed to keep a show going with all this happening?
This is our job, Peggy. We gotta do it.
You're right. So, what's the plan now?
I think we should call Virginia back.
All right, I'll get her on the line. Okay, Forrest, shut the music off.
Hello again, Gallows Creek. This is Forrest Nash. We're circling closer to the truth behind tonight's events. To this end, we're calling back one of our earlier callers, Virginia Sullivan.
Fredman Plunker here? Who's this? Is it you? Goose?
Plunker, hey, it's the Radio Man, Forrest Nash.
Radio Man? What's up?
Solving mysteries, saving lives. The huge.
Right on.
Plunker, what are you doing at Virginia's house?
She asked if we could stay to keep an eye out for that whistling turd. So we're hanging out, bro.
That's big of you, Plunker.
No. Sure thing, Radio Man. I'll just go get her.
Who is this?
Hey, Virginia, it's Forrest. I'm glad you're still okay.
Oh, Forrest. Sorry, I'm still jumpy. What would I know?
Does the name Clive mean anything to you?
Clive? No, I don't know that name. What are you asking about this for?
You mentioned that name earlier when you called us the first time.
I don't know what I said then. I was petrified, Forrest.
Clive's the janitor at our station, and we know you spoke to him in the past.
Forrest, please. You don't know what you're doing. He'll come for me.
Virginia, it's okay. Clive won't be coming after you.
We think Clive's dead.
Dead? But isn't he? He's the whistling man, Forrest.
We found evidence to the contrary.
But
It's true.
And we found your autopsy reports for George Barrow.
how? I saw him destroy them.
Well, he didn't. I don't know if he kept them or made copies or what, but we found them. And we know it's related to what's happening tonight, which is why we called you. Why did you write a false report?
All right. One day, I came into work to find a boy on my slab. and as I finished the autopsy, this man, Clive, he just burst in, and he started making demands to give over the reports, to falsify what I found. Of course I said no, but, well, when someone wants to make you do something, they can use the carrot or the stick. For me, he used both. You see, my sister is sick. She has a chronic condition that's never going away. It's expensive to treat, and it was getting to where I couldn't afford it. And Clive promised me that his employer would pay for my sister's treatment if I did what he said, and that if I ever spoke about this, he'd beat me to within an inch of my life. I don't know why he had me do it, but my sister needed me. You have to understand, she needed me.
We understand.
Thank you, Virginia. That was brave.
God, I just want this nightmare to end.
This will help end it, Virginia. Thank you.
Stay safe, Virginia.
But for who? Why cover up these details? I think we should know what we want to ask. Is that fair?
Yeah, we need to ask her about finding the body. She was the one who discovered it, but something just doesn't add up.
100%. She knows more than she's saying.
I wonder what she's hiding.
We'll hopefully find out soon. Anyway, just be careful when you're talking to her. Push too hard. We don't want her to hang up.
I'll be careful.
All right, calling her now. Hopefully she's at her jazz studio.